You think the hardest thing you'll ever do is stop texting her, but the silence you're afraid of isn't the one between your phone and hers. It's the one inside you that you've been running from since the moment she walked out. Let's talk about that. And before we go deeper, if nobody in your life is telling you the truth about who you've become and what it's actually going to take to get yourself back, then subscribe right now. Not for me, for you. Because what's coming next in this video and everything else on this channel is the kind of clarity you're not getting from your friends, your family, or the version of yourself that's still checking her Instagram at 2 hours in the morning. Subscribe. You need this. Now, here's what it really means when someone tells you to do no contact. They tell you it's a strategy. They tell you it's a tool to get her back or to heal faster or to reclaim your power. And maybe it does some of that. But here's the thing. Nobody says out loud, no contact is the easy part. Silence is passive. You can do silence lying down. Literally, you can do silence staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation, every argument, every moment. You wonder if you could have said something different, done something different, been something different. Silence doesn't require you to change a single thing about yourself. The truth about no contact, it just requires you to put your phone down. That's not transformation. That's just waiting. And waiting is what you've already been doing. Waiting for her to come back, waiting for the pain to pass, waiting for some version of life that feels like it did before. You've been waiting so long. You've confused stillness with progress. You've confused absence with growth. You've told yourself that because you haven't called her in 30 days, you're healing. But healing isn't what happens when you remove the trigger. Healing is what happens when you stop needing the trigger to define you. So let me give you the real framework, the misconception first. The misconception is this, that the pain of a breakup is about her, that what you're grieving is the relationship, the specific woman, the specific future you built in your head with her face in it. That's what it feels like on the surface. And that feeling is real. I'm not dismissing it, but that's not what's actually bleeding. Here's the hard truth. What you're really grieving is the version of yourself you became when you were with her, or worse, the version of yourself you abandoned to keep her close. You bent, you shrunk, you rearranged your priorities, your opinions, your schedule, maybe even your values to fit inside the space she was comfortable with. And you told yourself that was love, that was devotion, that was being a good man. But somewhere along the way, you stopped being the man and started being the accommodation. You stopped having opinions of your own. You stopped making decisions without checking her emotional weather first. You stopped doing the things that made you feel like yourself because they made her feel insecure or inconvenienced or left out. You stopped being the person you were, why many men use it wrong, before you met her. And then when she left, you looked in the mirror and you didn't recognize the guy looking back at you. That's not heartbreak. That's an identity crisis. And that's why no contact alone doesn't fix it. Because you can go 60 days, 90 days, a year without talking to her. And if you haven't rebuilt the man underneath, you'll just carry the hollow version of yourself into the next relationship and do the exact same thing. Different face, same dynamic, different name, same pattern, different relationship, same erosion. That's called a cycle. And cycles don't break because time passes. They break because you decide to interrupt them. So why does this happen? Why do men, strong men, capable men, men who have built things and achieved things and handled real pressure in every other area of life, why do they collapse like this inside a relationship? Because nobody taught you how to love without losing yourself. That's the root cause. You were taught directly or indirectly, consciously or through watching the men around you, that love means sacrifice, that love means proving yourself, that love means never letting her see you as insufficient. So you performed, you managed, you fixed, you overextended, and every time you felt the distance between you growing, you worked harder, gave more, asked for less. You thought that was strength, but that was fear wearing strength's clothes, fear of being abandoned, fear of being seen as not enough, fear of the silence that would confirm what some small voice in the back of your mind has been whispering your entire life, that you're not worth staying for. And so you gave the one thing more powerful than silence, her the power to answer that question. You handed her the verdict on your value. You let the relationship become the measure of your worth. And when it ended, your worth ended with it. That is what this is really costing you. Not just her, not just the relationship. You are paying with your identity, your confidence, your sense of direction, your ability to trust yourself, your ability to feel at home in your own skin without someone else's approval to orient you. You are paying with your future because every day you spend in this fog is a day you are not building, not growing, not becoming the man you were actually put here to be. That's the real price, and it's too high. So here's the reframe. This isn't punishment. This is preparation. The end of this relationship is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the one story that actually matters. The story of who you are when you're not performing for anyone, when you're not managing anyone's emotions, when you're not shrinking, bending, accommodating, or auditioning. Who are you when no one is watching and nothing is on the line? That question is either terrifying or exciting to you right now. If it's terrifying, that's important data. It means you don't know the answer. It means somewhere between everything you've been doing to maintain that relationship, you lost contact with yourself. And I want you to sit with that, not in shame, but in honesty, because honest men heal. Dishonest men just marinate. Let me show you the man on the other side of this. I want you to picture a specific type of man. He's not perfect. He's not a monk. He's not running from desire or pretending he doesn't want connection. But there is, becoming emotionally independent, something different about him that you can feel the moment he walks into a room. It's not arrogance, it's not performance, it's groundedness. It's the particular stillness of a man who knows exactly who he is and has decided that's enough. This man has a direction. He wakes up every morning and he knows what he's working toward. Not because someone told him to, not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because he took the time to figure out what actually matters to him and then he organized his life around it. His purpose doesn't change based on who he's dating. His identity doesn't reconfigure based on who's in the room. He is the constant. Everything else is the variable. This man has standards, not rules he states out loud at the beginning of every relationship like a terms and conditions agreement, but deep internal standards that govern how he allows himself to be treated, how much of himself he's willing to compromise, and when he's willing to walk away. And the thing about those standards is that they're not built on pride. They're built on self-respect. There's a difference. Pride makes you defensive. Self-respect makes you clear. This man has pain too. He has been through loss. He has loved people who didn't stay. He has sat with grief and confusion and the particular ache of wanting something he couldn't hold. But he didn't let those experiences hollow him out. He let them teach him. He extracted the lesson, buried what needed to be buried, and he kept moving. Not because he's numb, but because he knows that forward is the only direction that wise self-growth changes. Everything leads anywhere worth going. This man does not wait for someone else to validate his existence. He is not refreshing anyone's profile. He is not crafting messages in his head that he'll never send. He is not negotiating with a memory for his own self-worth. He has done the harder work. He has looked at himself with honesty, identified what he needs to change, and then changed it. And not for her, not for the next woman, but for himself. You can be that man. That's not a sales pitch. That's a fact. But you have to stop doing certain things. First, stop treating no contact like a strategy to get her back. The moment you start counting days and thinking about what she's thinking and whether she misses you and whether your silence is making her want you more, you've already failed. You're not healing. You're just playing a quieter version of the same game. No contact only works when the goal isn't contact. When the goal is you, stop telling the story of what happened in a way that positions you as the victim. I know how good it feels. I know how validated that story makes you feel. But the victim story is a cage. It's comfortable because it removes responsibility, but it also removes power. And right now, you need your power back more than you need to be right. Stop surrounding yourself with people who just want to hear you talk about her. Those conversations feel like support, but they're actually just ways to stay connected to the pain. You are feeding the wound. Every time you retell the story, you're not processing it. You're replaying it. There's a difference between talking about it to move through it and talking about it to stay inside it. Stop doing anything from a place of trying to make her see what she's missing. The gym for revenge is the psychology of scarcity, not the gym for growth. They look the same from the outside. They feel completely different from the inside. And your nervous system knows the difference. When you're working on yourself to prove something to someone who isn't there, you're still in the relationship. You haven't left. She has. Now here's what you actually do. You pick one area of your life, one that you have been neglecting, and you go all in on it this week. Not because it'll impress anyone, because it's yours. Work, fitness, creative work, financial discipline, a skill you abandoned, a project you shelved, a friendship you let dry out. Pick one and pour yourself into it. You're redirecting energy that has been orbiting a dead star. Point it somewhere that has a future. You build a daily structure. Structure is not the enemy of freedom. Structure is what keeps you from spending 4 hours a day inside your own head. You know what happens in an unstructured day when you're in pain? You grieve in circles. Give your day a shape. Morning routine, physical movement, focused work, a time to stop looking at your phone. That structure is not just productivity. That's architecture for a new version of your life. You identify the pattern not just in this relationship, but across all of them. Where do you tend to lose yourself? At what point do you start accommodating more than you're being met? What's the moment you bend when you should hold? Find that moment. Name it. That's the edge of your boundary. And right now, it's undefined, which means it's always being crossed. Define it. You stop outsourcing your self-worth to her opinion of you, to the opinions of people who only know the surface version of you, to numbers on a screen, or signals from someone who already made their choice. Your value is not up for when she notices the change debate. Your value is not contingent on the outcome of a relationship. Your value is something you decide every morning by how you carry yourself, how you treat people, and whether the man in the mirror is someone you actually respect. That's it. That's the whole thing. You are not broken. You are recalibrating. There is a significant difference between a man who is broken and a man who is rebuilding. And you need to know which one you are right now. Broken men collapse inward and stay there. Rebuilding men feel the same pain, but they don't let it become permanent residence. They feel it, they process it, and then they use it. Use this. Use every sleepless night. Use every moment you almost texted her and didn't. Use every second of the discomfort that comes from no longer having that familiar chaos to orbit. Use the anger, use the grief, use the confusion. Alchemize it. Turn it into discipline, into focus, into the kind of clarity that only comes after you've been forced to face yourself without distraction. Because that's what she unknowingly gave you, not a wound. An invitation. An invitation to stop building your life around someone else's presence and start building it around your own character. An invitation to become the man you would have had to become eventually. And the only question is whether you accept it now or in another 2 years after another relationship follows the same arc. You are not the product of what she chose. You are not the sum of what didn't work. You are not defined by who stayed and the high-value mindset shift, who left and when they left and how they left and what they said on their way out. You are the author, and right now you are standing at a blank page. What gets written next is entirely up to you. The man who makes it through this not just survives it, but actually uses it. That man is someone you haven't fully met yet. And that's not a threat. That's the most exciting thing I can possibly tell you because it means the best version of you is not behind you. It is not standing in her kitchen having a conversation you keep replaying. It is not locked in the past. It is ahead of you on the other side of the work you're about to decide to do. That man is worth becoming. That life is worth building. And you have everything you need to do it right now, starting today. Not when the pain stops, not when it feels easier, not when you feel ready. You will never feel ready. You just have to decide. So decide. If this cracked something open for you, if some part of you recognized yourself in what was just said and felt something shift, subscribe. Final message from Lauren Ponce right now. This channel exists for exactly this, to say the things that are true instead of the things that are comfortable. To give you the framework that actually works, instead of the advice that just sounds good. There are more videos coming, more of this kind of clarity, this kind of truth built for men who are serious about their own evolution. You found this for a reason. You're not alone in it, and you're more capable than you currently believe. Stay in the conversation. This is where the real work happens. And you've already taken the first step by still being